Are we at risk of trying to protect young cricketers too early from injuries, and in that sense making them less robust?
We're doing the opposite. We're doing the absolute opposite. Honestly, people were looking into exactly how many young players were getting injured on county academies and not getting through and just dropping out of the game. I think there would be amazement in the country, just in this country. And I've on calls with guys at other in other systems in other parts of the world. But yeah, we're not helping them at all. There's too much specialization early on. There's too little doing other sports, other events, or just generally getting out and about. They're more sedentary. They're on their laptops, on their iPads and things like that. And so they're going, and then we're making it worse because then we're not identifying these issues, but then loading them. So like we said, the 14-year-old's got almost the same plan as your 26-year-old opening bowler, opening bat. So everyone sort of crammed into the same thing, and there's always the excuse we haven't got time. You got all the time in the world because now you've got online. We've got 150 clients all throughout the world. We've got time for them all because the systems we've got in place, they can be doing assessments and the videos we can be analyzing. It's not just about that hour period that you might be at the county now. There's so much more time. And if the player's motivated, they'll do the work, but they're all getting shoved down the same thing. Just do this. And it's not good. So batters, bowlers, spinners, keepers, they're all like keepers. The stuff I see online with them talking about, well, because you squat as a keeper, just squat all the time. It's like, is that where we come to? Just being, again, that reductionist to say you do this, or just do the same thing but with weight. No, because so many keepers, their hips are shot to shit, So we need to make sure we're looking after them, not just load the pattern because they do it in the game. It's just crazy. And we talked earlier about wanting them to play other sports or do other activities. That's key. I know you said about tennis. Fantastic. Get the feet moving. I know a lot of batting coaches love squash and wanted to get players playing squash. For me, a martial arts, a gymnastics, even a dance sort of event helps the body so much and fills in a lot of the gaps that get missed out with cricket. So yeah, a bit long-winded, but we're not helping youngsters at all.
Well, it comes off the back of me experiencing this in not only my own club side, but I went and watched a county pathway game recently and caught up with one of the coaches who was a former coach for me and just a good friend now. And I said to him, "What are you seeing?" And I thought I would get some answers around technical, tactical stuff in batting, bowling, things like that. And he just unanimously said, they can't move. The fielding, there's no one can pick the ball up. Like, we have got a generation now who really struggle to be coordinated. Like, they don't move as athletically. So what if you've got someone standing in front of you who struggles with this movement, is uncoordinated? What would you be saying to them to say, right, go do this and avoid doing this?
So for me, it would just be about the first thing we'd do is assess them. It says, what are your blockages? Where's not working? And again, we go back to a lot of the time the thoracic, so the upper back doesn't move. Now that should move left and right and go forward and back nicely. The hips should move, okay? And the ankles should move. So they're the first three things we'd look at to say, right, so if one of those isn't working, then we need to get working on this. Other than that, it would just be adding a bit more chaos and fun into what they're doing. If we're talking about, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, things that we used to probably play at school, like Bulldog and things like that, or things where you have to react to a stimulus. What I see now is, say in a fielding drill, what the coach is going to do. He's going to hit the ball at you, or he's going to bounce it to you and you catch it. So we can do that. As soon as you add some chaos element, which when you're on the field is total chaos, then we see players not picking up. Now you've probably seen, I speak about someone who was with me at Worcester, Ross Whiteley. The funny thing was they used to talk about him in the field, say, oh, he's so fucking quick. He's so quick. He was the second slowest in the 20-meter dash. So it used to really make me laugh because he would just read the game superbly. You know, he would be there and he would be one step ahead and he'd get to the ball and he great motor control. He could throw the ball. He's a strong unit. So his body moved well, but he wasn't. He had an amazing kinetic chain, which we'll probably come onto in a bit. So he could hit the ball miles and also be athletic in the field, but he wasn't quick. But the assessment from the coaches was that he was quick. And that's because he could adapt. And when the chaos stuff came in, he was there. So I think that's where we need to go, to have different drills where they're chasing different balls, having to think, right, if you've got a red ball and a blue ball, you only go after the blue ball and you throw 2 balls and they have to adapt to that. So it'd be things like that. And then having fun stuff like different, almost like gladiators, you know, where they have to jump over things and roll and you know, those different motor and movement patterns, which they're not doing. Just bring those in, because if they can move, and then we've got some fucking idiot with an ECB tracksuit on saying, all right, well, let's get in the right positions here where we throw and we get the arm there. It doesn't matter. It's not going to help them. The whole body needs to be moving, the kinetic chain. And once we get that working and that coordination level and that stability, which is key at that age, you know, as soon as they're going through their maturation, they lose stability. They go into what we call adolescent gangliness. You know, so they lose that stability and then they look like, bam, you know, we've all seen it, where they're running and their legs and arms are everywhere. So stability is key. If we add stability to everything else and make it fun and go different movements, we'll suddenly see a lot different. Fortunately, they get to a academy session or whatever it might be and everything's so drilled, we're doing this. There's no chaos. There's nothing there. Not going to change.
Well, we've got sofas, TVs, phones, gaming, big one, all which are attractions for young people to engage in. And I had a young athlete that I know that games quite a lot, like at a fairly important age of anywhere between 14 to 16, he's been gaming. And he says he's serious about playing the sport, right? And the trade-off, he said, was, well, it's when I connect with my friends, it's when I spend time with them, they're all online, we're playing this game. But then I asked him, how long are you doing it? And it was like into the early hours, right? And I just thought, if you are really serious about what you're doing here, if you're really serious about going hard as an athlete and you want to do this, you have got to take your time on the sofa, your time in front of a TV, your time in front of computer games. You've really got to take this seriously in terms of getting it out of your life because of the damage you are seeing it do to your physical capabilities of being able to move at the thing you love, which if you are to excel in it, you would feel 100x more gratification than just that moment of dopamine on winning some online game or scrolling through, watching that series. I think we've got to be taking these sorts of elements in an athlete's whole holistic life much more seriously and really prescribing people off them rather than saying, okay, yes, recovery is great, but what you're doing and how long you're doing it before you get moving again, I think is so important. If you enjoyed that video, then you might enjoy the entire full-length episode as well. All you got to do is click right here. Go on, go.